True. Nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken, and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It's impossible to say how the idea first entered my brain, but once it was conceived, it haunted me day and night. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never insulted me. I had no desire for his gold. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye, with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now, you fancy me mad, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded. I was never kinder to the old man than during the week before I killed him. Every night about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it. Oh, so gently. I moved my head slowly, very, very slowly, so as not to disturb his sleep. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this? For 7 long nights I did this, but the eye was always closed. It was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. Upon the 8th night, I was more cautious. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. I had my head in and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped and the old man sprang up in bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I knew his terror. I knew he felt my presence. When I had waited a long time, I resolved to open a little crevice in the lantern. A single dim ray, like the thread of a spider, shot out and fell full upon the vulture eye. It was open wide, wide open, and I grew furious. Then there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It grew quicker and quicker, louder and louder every instant. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I leaped into the room. He shrieked once. I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. At length, the beating ceased. The old man was dead. His eye would trouble me no more. I dismembered the corpse and hid it under 3 planks of the flooring. There was nothing to wash out. No stain, no blood spot whatever. At 4 in the morning, there came a knocking at the street door. 3 police officers. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I took them all over the house, even to his chamber. In the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, I placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale. I fancied a ringing in my ears. It became more distinct. It was a low, dull, quick sound, the beating of a heart. I gasped for breath, yet the officers heard it not. I talked more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. It grew louder, 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 and still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. They heard, they suspected, they knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. I could bear it no longer. Villains! I shrieked, dissemble no more, I admit the deed. Tear up the planks, here, here. It is the beating of his hideous heart.